We have these great things called smartphones, and they are very much smart. Like they can do a lot of things. You can call and text and email and watch what's going on in the world, and sometimes miss the world that's right next to you. So what is that world right next to you? That's your spouse, that's your family, that's your kids. Those are your good quality friends. How many of you sit in a bed on the couch right next to somebody that you love and appreciate, and y'all are both talking about the thing that you're watching on your smart device as you both are sitting there and you're talking about what you see on this screen? And so imagine this world, right? There was a world that you actually talked to the person and you talked about, a lot of different things. I would recommend at the dinner table, if you're you create those quality moments. So what does that quality moment look like? It's intentional. It's on purpose. It's a topic of discussion. So for instance, if you have kids around the August, September time, depending on where you live, you're probably talking about school, a variance of, and that's the school, things they're going to participate in, clothes, that's supplies, that's if you're moving schools, the transition to different levels of the school year, having intentional conversations with that as opposed to looking and seeing what, they posted their kids on the first day of school picture, right? You're trying to build an actual family, intentional quality time with each other and talking about that particular topic. So I've seen a lot of families do this, is that at the dinner table, even in the car, they're not allowed to use smart devices. And at first, there's some tension that happens there, but over time, what happens is there's relationship built there. Because again, there was a time when you didn't have that smart device always with you and on you. So if people wanted to get in contact with you, they'd either have to call your work phone or your home phone. Anytime in between that, you built relationship with people who you were with. Either that was you in the car with the cassette tape or a CD. Some of y'all probably don't even know what that is. You can Google it later. Or if you're really old, an 8-track, that's really old. Again, Google it, you'll find out what all that stuff is. But there was time that you built relationship in the car, or you played mind games with yourself. If you were a kid, you'd play, that's my car. You go, oh, that's my, or you play slug bug. Again, if you don't know what that is, you can Google that later. But those are games that the kids played without an actual device. They use their imagination to make games. So I really encourage you to focus on building intentional quality time, because what it does help some things in the brain. It does help you become a little more creative, a little more imaginative in those areas, but also it helps you to build quality relationships without a device as a distraction in some cases. And another side note to that is, if you have a smartphone, when do you ever disconnect from those things? If you never disconnect from those things, you're living a life of distraction. Because if you have a setting for your posts and you have every social and emails and text messages and phone calls, every 5 minutes is going to be binging, clicking, or whatever you have it set up to do. So your life is constantly distracted. And to have an intentional quality relationships, you cannot live a life of distraction.